Welcome to my channel. This video is for Pigtail Hairbow Mums. If you haven't done so, please subscribe and don't forget to tap the bell for notifications on my uploads and live streams. Here are the measurements for the lengths that I'll be cutting my ribbons. The main ribbons for the pigtails are around 29 inches. You may not get the exact same hairbow result as I do with that length, so you may want to go a little bit longer, maybe shorter. Just depends on the size you want. I've already got one of these made, so of course if you're doing pigtails, you're going to make two of them. And what I'm doing here is I'm doing one ribbon in a glitter, but it's thick, but it's not real thick. It's not real pretty on the inside. So I'm using a grosgrain ribbon as well for the inside, just to make sure that the inner part is pretty. It also makes it thicker and it'll hold its shape better. So that's just your choice on whether you use more than one ribbon. Maybe you want to do two ribbons of different colors. Or just do, or you could do two glitter ribbons back to back, so it's glitter on the inside as well. Just your choice. And as you can see, I'm using the first one I made as a guide for the second one to make sure that the loops all match up. And I can adjust them a little bit, just keep moving them around. I did end up with one tail a little bit longer than the other, but that's okay, they don't have to be exact. I'm also moving my loops around, making sure I've got them exactly where I want them. Just kind of adjust them around before I pinch the center and secure it. So just moving those, getting those exactly where I want them. So just play around with it until you get it just like you want it. I think that's good. It looks pretty. Now I'm going to pinch it in the center, pinch it in. You can pinch it in the center and then pinch out on the other ends, or you can just kind of do an accordion all the way down the center there. Just make sure that it's pinched in the center. And those match up almost perfectly, so I was really happy with that. That one ribbon was cut a little bit longer, so I will trim those off. And I am just using a chenille stem to secure the center of this. Give it a good couple of twists. You could use a cable tie as well. On my regular hairbow mums, I usually use a needle and thread. I don't necessarily run the thread through the ribbon, but wrap it around. But this glitter ribbon, and since everything's so thick, it really needed something thicker to secure that. So now I'm going to trim off these ends, cutting a V shape or a dovetail. And then I'm using my lighter and getting close, and I'm just running it really quickly along the edge of that grosgrain ribbon to make sure that it doesn't fray. It still will probably fray a little bit, but not near as bad. You can also use like clear or glitter fingernail polish. Glitter is best because it'll add some sparkle, and just kind of dab it on the end of those ribbons. And that really helps it from fraying. And I know you can use no fray, but I have found I used to use that and it would discolor some of my ribbon ends, and I didn't like that, so I either use a lighter or nail polish. So now I'm going to add my center ribbons. Now this ribbon is a black glitter and it's really thick, so it will not wrap around the center. I have to fold it like this. I just played around and came up with this as I made these pigtail mums. And I just want those tails to fall down like this, like it's going. I don't want them going all over the place, so I'm going to have to manipulate it and then hot glue it and then hot glue it to the bow. So just folded it over like that, kind of made a V or an X, and then I just need to hot glue all that down, make it nice and flat, and then hot glue it to the center of the bow there, and it worked out perfectly. Let's add a little bit some more sparkle. They wanted red with a little bit of black and a touch of gray, so that's where these colors come from. Now this is a gray and white gingham, and I believe, I can't remember if that has wire in it or not. Yes, it does. You want to pull those out. This is like a 7/8 inch width, And I believe that glitter was a 5/8 inch. And that black glitter came from Dollar Tree. This gray I found from one of my wholesale places. It was just one of those unique finds. And you see I'm just wrapping it around the center and tying it off. And then moving those tails where I want them, and then you'll want to trim those up, and you also want to use a lighter or nail polish on the end of this ribbon too, because it will fray as well. Now you don't want to leave that just like it is, or it will come undone, but I'm going to be adding more stuff, so that's why I only tied that one time. And this ribbon, so I'm showing you those ribbons. And this one I believe came from Dollar Tree too. It's one of those that has the sequence down it. And it was in the Christmas stuff, but I've seen these at Hobby Lobby as well, so they are pretty common, something you can find pretty easily. And I'm also adding some bells to the center, and to attach those bells I'm using this red metallic. It's not really a twine or a rope. It's I bought that at Hobby Lobby in either the gift wrapping or the Christmas crafts. It was in the Christmas section, and I always buy some of this. I always get it in silver and red because I can use it on my homecoming mom stuff. So just attaching my little bells on there. It actually is twice that thick. It's like they're roped together, they're twisted together, and I untwist them so I can get bells on them, and I only use one. And I've shown this stuff on my homecoming mom making videos before. So just tied that in a knot. Got 3 little bells, different sizes. And you see I'm putting it under that red sequence ribbon. I didn't attach it yet. I mean, I tied it on there, but not tightly yet, because I'm running this through that loop that I just made, instead of wrapping it around the center of the bow. Kind of want it hidden, and then I'm just holding it in place with that clip there, because I'm going to have to hot glue that very last ribbon down, that sequence ribbon, and that's going to hold those bells too. Just adding a little bit of hot glue back there and then pulling it tight so everything stays in place. And then I'm going ahead and tying it. What I'm tying it to is that red sequence ribbon. Just tying it in a knot and tying it in a knot underneath. So I tied it in a knot on the top and on the bottom, and then I'm going to cut that off. And that's just going to secure those bells on there for me. I had a customer request these Pigtail Mums last spring, and I hadn't made any, so I just came up with this design, and she loved them. And then I had another customer this past fall that wanted some too. She bought 2 Hairbow Mums, and she wanted 2 Pigtail Mums too to match them. So I just kind of came up with this design on the fly. I may come up with another one, you know, if I have time to think about it and play around with some other bow options. But I think they're cute, and these customers have really enjoyed them. And as you can see, they're pretty easy to make. I've added, you know, added quite a bit of other little ribbons to it, and that's what takes time, but really they're pretty easy to make. And I use the French clips on there, and I just realized after I got that one made, I realized I did not put my French clip on there first. So I had to pull that red ribbon off after doing all that work. So I'm showing this because I do this sort of thing all the time. And you know, you just have to kind of figure out how to fix it, and sometimes you have to redo stuff. But I wanted to show you guys, I make mistakes all the time. You know, I have to go back and fix things all the time, so don't worry about it. Don't get stressed out about it. Here you can see it was an easy, I just had to pull that red ribbon off, attach this, because when I attach a French clip, I want a ribbon that goes around the bow and the French clip, holding it on, glued on, holding it on, so it's twice as secure. I know some people just glue the French clip to the bow and they're done, but I want to wrap that ribbon around there as well to make sure that it's nice and secure. I'm just going over those edges a little bit more. As you're working on the bow, you can see it'll start to fray a little bit, so you can kind of see where you need to touch them up. And I'm just holding that down to make sure that it gets, make sure it dries and it's nice and secure on there before I add that last ribbon. Okay, now it's ready, and that ribbon is in still good shape. If if it had too much hot glue on it or if it was messed up, then I'd have to use a whole new ribbon on it. But everything was in good shape and the bells are still tied on, so all I had to do was run it through the back of that French clip and then give it a nice little tie there. Again, I'm not tying it in a knot because I'm going to add a little touch of hot glue to keep that in place. Just make sure those little tails are going down the direction I want. So you could make these with longer tails if you wanted to. Just make sure you cut the ribbon longer than 29 inches. Or, you may want to make your loops a little bit closer together and not as big, not as wide, so the bow's not as wide. It's just up to you what you like. This is just a guide for you guys. Just an idea, you can take this and roll with it. I love to see when you guys take something and, that I've done and then make your own twist on it. I love that because I like doing that too. I like to watch other people's work and, see what they come up with, and then it inspires me. So I hope I inspire you guys. And these turned out really, really cute and glittery, and that's what she wanted, and she was really excited about them. Okay, guys, they are finished. If you have any questions, don't forget to comment. Please be kind with your comments, though. I really appreciate that. Please know that I put out the best videos that I can with the equipment that I have, with the lighting, with the sound, and everything, with the angles and everything. I do get a few comments, people telling me I need to do this or that differently, and they don't understand that that means a lot more money for me to spend, and I don't have that money to spend. But you are welcome to tip me. I have various ways that you could tip me and support me. But if you can't do that, watching my videos, sharing my videos, those are awesome ways to support my channel as well. So I appreciate any support you guys give me. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. I hope you guys are having a lovely January after all the holidays. I hope everyone's well and doing good. And please remember to be kind to others, be kind with your comments, and happy crafting and mum making, everyone. And if you're wondering, these are the finished product of all the mums that I made for this customer. I made her, like I said, 2 hairbow mums, regular size hairbow mums that were glitter, and they're custom. They have the custom, not the custom cutouts, but they have a supplemented dog tag on there with the school logo. These were not for homecoming either. These were just for school. They wear like uniforms and stuff, and so these were just special mums for them to wear throughout the year. So I had to make sure I made them sturdy and durable for, to last. Hopefully they'll last even more than this year, that they'll get to wear them, for a couple years. And so I hope you enjoy that. I do not have videos for their regular mums. I do have some other hairbow mum tutorials, and I do use about the same guide on making all of those. So if you're curious about making how I make those, I do have videos for that, and I'll try to put cards on the top to show you that. As you can see, I doubled up the bows on those as well, but I didn't do them together. I made the bow with the grosgrain, and then I made the bow with the glitter and stacked them. So stacking them makes it, it's going to make them a little bit heavier, but I think it makes them stand out better and just look, I don't know, they just look better. They're more 3D look, I guess, to them. They're not so flat. But you got to think about the size of the girls and stuff like that. But I did do several of them this year like that, where I did doubled the bow on the top. But I hope you enjoyed this, and there will be more Homecoming Mum videos to come. I've got several that I still need to go through from this past fall, and then I'll make new stuff this spring, or hopefully, February, March, and start making new videos as well. So you guys, request anything that you want to see, and I'll try to accommodate. Good night.